Howdy, with this video I want to go over the career essay, make sure we're on the same page there. The first paragraph of the career essay is due on June 18th. That one's just going to be a quick, making sure you're on the right track there. Same thing with the 19th when you send your first 3 paragraphs in the works cited space. Just want to make sure you're going on the essay, you're not stuck on it, and hopefully you're starting to learn the MLA formatting a little bit. Draft's going to be due on the 22nd, then we'll work with the peer reviews and getting the final version of the essay in that week. To find the assignment, again, it's on the content page. Wow. We're going to go down here to essay projects, and it's right here, MLA Career Research Essay. I'm going to go ahead and download this so we can see it a little better. There it goes. The internet's a little slow today, so try and bear with me. There it goes. Alrighty. For this one, you're going to write a 1,250 minimum essay that researches the job you hope to obtain with your 2-year, 4-year, or maybe even 6-year college degree. Depends on what you're going for. The word count does not include your academic plan or the works cited page. So make sure when you think about the word count, you're not counting all that extra stuff. It's not really extra, but all the table and the works cited page. You got to meet the following requirements. You should employ MLA formatting. You're going to use a minimum of 4 sources. One's going to be the source of that academic plan. The other one's going to be the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and you have 2 others that you're going to use in your essay. Those are kind of up to you. Excuse me. Short quote, long quote, summary, and paraphrase. That's going to be true for every essay we write in here. Same thing with the required punctuation there. You're going to notice this one's kind of broken into sections. I'll try to do that, particularly in a short semester like this, so students can chunk this. If you're having trouble with section 1, hopefully you can go to section 2 and work on that a little bit. And nobody's just sitting there staring at a blank screen watching the cursor blink on and off, right? There's no worse feeling than that, particularly in an internet class. But the first section is going to introduce the essay, want a general description of the field. Try and be as specific as possible about what field you're going into. If you just say nursing, it's overly general. Do you want to get into pediatric nursing, neonatal nursing? Do you want to be a travel nurse? What do you want to do specifically as a nurse? Because your education is going to start asking that question as well. But you want to kind of tell us, why would you want to do that? Do you just wake up one morning and think, hey, I want to deal with vomit and blood and poop and all this nasty stuff that happens when people are sick? Why do you want to be a nurse? You might get into some of the things you talked about in journal number 4. What kind of talents do you have that would make you a good nurse? But kind of just get us into talking about what do you want to do and why you want to get into it. You'll have a good, clear thesis statement at the end of the first section that kind of says, hey, I want to be in this job, and I have a clearly articulated plan that shows you that's about to show you how I'm going to do that. And that's going to be the thrust of the essay. Hopefully they're going to say, hey, I got a good plan and I'm ready to go, or hey, I've researched this career and I'm not so sure about it anymore. It kind of depends on where you're at. Quite often, I know I say this a lot about dual enrollment students, but sometimes they get to the end of the essay and kind of go like, I don't know if I want to go to school for 10 years or whatever. I'll be 30 years old before I even get out of college and ready to be a doctor or whatever. So it's kind of interesting. But that's just the little first section, kind of the introduction section. The second section, you're going to go over the detailed requirements of the job. This is where you're going to start talking about your education needs. What kind of particular degrees do you need? What kind of accreditations does that college need? What kind of certifications do you need? You can go through any nursing program. If you don't pass, I think it's the NCLEX, right? You're not a nurse. You're just a very educated non-nurse person with a with a nursing degree, under your belt, but no nursing job. So, what are the pass rates for the NCLEX without your particular program? Might be a very interesting question to get into. What kind of physical abilities do you have? If you're going to be working 12-hour shifts as a nurse, do you have the physical stamina to do that? Can you lift people? Can you, if somebody falls on the floor, you got to pick them up, right? What kind of personality traits? Things like that. And that's different for every job. Nurses require one thing, teachers require another. It just kind of depends on the profession. That's where you're going to start researching with this essay. You're going to put your academic plan in there. Also, you might want to talk about estimated financial costs if you're just getting your 2-year degree. Hold on, my phone's going off. And then if you're gonna move on to a 4-year college, how much is that going to cost you? Can you get scholarships, things like that? Just kind of discussing the educational requirements and the general requirements of the job there. The third section, that's where you're actually going to research the actual profession. What kind of salary can you make? What kind of local job opportunities? If you have to stay in this area and you get this degree, are there going to be jobs available for you? Are you going to have to move? Are you willing to move? Some students are like, yeah, I want to get out of here. Other people are like, no, I love it here. I want to stay here for the rest of my life. I want a job here. Then you kind of get the idea that this essay is going to be a little bit different for everybody. And if you're two people are doing nursing, that's going to be a very different essay because you're looking for different things. One, to get into the profession, and what you're going to want to get out of the profession. Excuse me. But you're going to go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, talk about how much money you might make, where the jobs are, and things like that. Can you move upward? If you're a nurse for 5 years, you're like, man, I'm sick of dealing with sick people. Can you move up into management? Can you move into teaching? Same thing if you want to be like an elementary school teacher. Are you looking to do that for a few years and get into being an assistant principal, getting into administration, things like that? Kind of an interesting question there as well. If you do this job for 10 years, you're like, okay, I've done this. Now what? Is there anything else within that profession that you can move up into, that you can either move sideways or upwards, so to speak? Also, very important part, you'll see on the Bureau of Labor Statistics site, there's these future prospects for the job. This is a growing profession. If you're looking to be a nurse, this is a growing profession, at least in most sectors. Yay! That's what you want to see. Other areas may be declining. If you want to be a college English teacher, that's a very difficult field to get into now. The full-time jobs are shrinking. Do you really want to go through 6 years of school to get your master's degree, or 8 years of school for your PhD, and then not be able to find a job as an English teacher? So it's another kind of interesting thing you want to get into. So the second section, you're kind of getting into the job requirements, the education, things like that. Then your section 3 is the actual job. Then section 4 is going to be your suitability for the job. I want you to list 3 good things, 3 bad things about the job. For that, you might have to do some more research. You can also talk to somebody who's already in a profession if you know one. There's good things and bad things about every single job, right? The levels of stress, what causes this stress, turnover rates, things like that. About half of all teachers who get into teaching get out of the profession after about the first 5 years. That's a profound statistic. Half the teachers who go through 4 years of education and all this training to be a teacher decide after about 5 years, I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe some move up into administration, but some just get out. What kind of stress is causing that poor retention rate among particularly junior high school, sometimes high school teachers? Is it administrators? Is it parents? Is it whatever? But you want to kind of know what you're getting into before you spend 4 years getting your degree, right? What causes stress within this profession, and can I handle that stress? So you want to talk about that, and be careful. Make sure you're discussing the information you provide. If you say 25% of neonatal nurses get out of that sector within the first 5 years. I'm just making that up, by the way. You want to talk about what causes that stress and whether you can handle that stress, right? But also what you can do to make yourself marketable so that when you get your degree, you get a job. Can you do volunteer work? Are there possible internships? Are there places you can make contacts? Are there professional organizations you can join? What can you do so that when you graduate in 2 years or 4 years or 6 years, your resume is just packed with information and people are going to want to hire you? I'm often on a search committee for English positions here at Northeast State, and it's amazing how many people whose resumes just say, hey, I got a master's degree in English. It's like, well, so does every other applicant. What can you do to show us that you're going to be a good instructor for our students? They don't always quite often aren't able to address that because all they do is get the degree and start sending out their applications, and they're not going to get hired, right? They haven't done anything else. They got to see 4 major sections. And again, hopefully it's kind of nice. You can kind of chunk it. If you're getting stuck with section 3, you might just move on to section 4 and get on with that. Let's look at the sample essay. I'm not going to read this thing to you. Let me see if I can get to it. There we go. We're going to go to the content page. And then down here to help resources and sample essays. And there's a sample career essay. Let me download that one too. Got some big files going on here. Excuse me. Again, I'm not going to read this thing, but you're going to see he's following these basic section format and developing his essay around that basic format I've given. This is a dual enrollment student, so that's why he's talking about getting ready to graduate from high school. Of course, every high school student, what do you want to do with your life? And all the high school students like, I don't know. But he's looking at mechanical engineering. It suits his desires. His desire to be, it's hands-on learning style, and kind of career he wants to enjoy. And he's going to start researching this. One, he's going to tell us exactly what the mechanical engineer does, and he's using a little bit of research there to do that. And he's going to say, hey, I want to go to UT because I need, you just can't just show up at an engineering place and say, hey, I want to do this. You got to have the education to get in. So he's going to talk about his upcoming education at UT Knoxville, going through some of the courses, some of the requirements. Generally, he's going to introduce the first table. Notice he's kind of telling us, you won't see English on my academic plan because I'm doing that here at Northeast State. And he's also in these AP courses, so he may not see that on the academic plan. He's gone to the UT website, created this table of the courses he's going to take in the order he's going to take them, or at least what he plans to do here. And of course, he gives us those kind of notes of citations. He's citing everything. He's talking about the costs, and you kind of see going to UT without a scholarship is going to be very expensive. And notice he's citing the sources there, so we kind of got a summary going or paraphrase, and he's citing the source of those costs. He's talking about getting into the next section. What's the potential? Where can you find a job? Is this an expanding field? Things like that. But I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's just going through each section, make sure he's developing his paragraphs well, addressing most of the prompts in there. Again, everybody's essay is going to be a little bit different. Some people are getting into super high stress jobs that you're going to have to figure out how you're going to deal with all this stress and how that's going to play out. Other people might get into professions where you're not really making a lot of money. If you're majoring in social work, you're probably not going to drive your Aston Martin to work there every day, right? You're not going to be making a lot of money. Can you deal with that? Other jobs require just a lot of your time. If you want to have a family and a normal life, how are you going to do that if you're going to be in a super high stress, high demand job? But I'll kind of read through that sample essay. Again, don't be everybody's essay is going to be a little bit different. Not everybody's going to have the same plan. That's a good thing. So make these interesting to read. But if you have questions as you're working on it, and one other thing, if you're not quite sure what you want to do, that's fine. Pick one profession, one specific area that you're thinking about going into, research it. You can get to the end of your essay and kind of draw the conclusion like, I don't know. That's a lot of stress for not a lot of money. Why would I'm not sure I want to do that. And that's perfectly fair to say. But you kind of want to make sure you don't spend 4 years, 6 years, 2 years getting your degree and finding out, I don't like this. Why did I get this degree? But that's kind of what we're working with. If you have questions, be sure to let me know. I'm going to get off here, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.